So we just found out. It's the fairy tale's 500th chapter, and it begins with a giant Brandish, aka Randy, had dropped Natsu, Lucy, and Happy onto a ruin which they can meet in private. To be completely honest, Lucy doesn't want to fight Brandish, and neither does Brandish. Turns out they want to talk about having to know the location of where the guild is, with Dirama, aka Mary, watching them. As the battle goes on of Fairy Tale, they can see the fact that they would have known how they will handle how to battle Seraph, knowing the fact that what happened at Carnival Island. Meanwhile, back at the fight with Gray being still alive and Invale, turns out that Gray is still pissed off at Invale for letting Juvia sacrifice herself. Knowing the fact that he would actually throw a punch at Invale and shatter his glasses and throw him on the wall, Invale actually stands back up, creating his armor, which is called the Ice Revening Funeral Rodment, or I'm just going to call it the Winter Night Armor, which is the most appropriate name for it, because that armor actually frees everything that touches. Well, except for the fact that Gray is immune to ice. Even though Gray is about to be frozen, it actually turns out that the winter armor doesn't have effect on Gray. It's began to shatter, and then Gray actually decided to defeat Invale with these badass magic called Ice Demon Zero Demolition Fist, which is the Demon Knight Armor Gauntlets, which he's finally defeat Invale. Meanwhile, back in the ruins, they were actually still negotiating with, however, Newhart actually is there, getting ready to kill Ursa, or Lady Ursa. However, when Brandish tells him that he is about to negotiate with him, he actually said that is actually a traitorous move, which is a betrayal to attack Brandish. However, Natsu knocks Newhart out to save Brandish. Meanwhile, it turns out that Juvia is still alive, only to have Wendy to heal her wounds, which she owns her life. But back at the battle scene, which Gray is saying that he'll never see Juvia again, which Invale say that the same fate happens to his mother, father, which is Silver, come back alive as the Ice Demon Slayer, but dead again, as well as Master Uor, and as well as that. But however, Gray actually said that he is going to defeat e.n.d, only to have Invale tell him that e.n.d is none other than Natsu. Now Gray finally knew the identity of e.n.d, which is Natsu, or Indurius Natsu Dragneo. Now, Gray is pissed that, I have to be honest, Gray is shocked of seeing him, knowing that Natsu is e.n.d. So, like this video, subscribe for more, and comment what you think about the chapter. Until then, this is EB Games Guy here saying signing out. Laters.